Well, I tried to get Murphy on camera. He just won't stay in the right spot. What can I tell you? Hello and welcome. My name is Kathleen. For those of you who are new here, I am here as your tech coach. I answer questions, provide content, mainly focused on small businesses, but all are welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about what YouTube end cards are, why you should care, and what the difference really is between YouTube end cards and end screens. So since Mr. Murphy is refusing to entertain you anymore, I'll take over things and we will get the show started. Let's keep our fingers crossed. It's still a new setup. We haven't quite worked out all the kinks yet, but here we go. Like I said, a few kinks are still left. All right, so we are going to talk about YouTube end cards tonight. There are many reasons to do them, but not everybody takes advantage of them. He's looking at me to go get the treat that he just threw in the wrong spot. I can't help you now, dear. So YouTube end cards are something that you have seen, you have probably made use of, but you are probably not using yourself. So that is what we're going to try to address here tonight. We are going to get started with the basics, which is what the heck are they, right? And then we'll get into the background and the who and the why and the where. So let me get myself reorganized here. Yes, you can eat your greenie, sweetheart. All right. I'm going to just start by showing you what I'm talking about here so that you have some context around it. Let's get that out of the way. Oh, I've got to work on my triggers next. There we go. See, I'm down here. Hello. Okay, so this is one example of what I'm talking about. So at the end of a video, there's it's like 25, 30 seconds before the actual cut end of the video that's run. You very often will see something like this. Now, this is one way to do it, right? Where they've got some sort of round thing and then, a square. So the round is a subscribe. When people click on that, they're invited to subscribe. And the squares are videos that you have recommended or that you've let YouTube recommend. So that's one example. Let me show you another. So this is another one where you can see, so these are what's happening with these that I'm showing you right now is they are overlaying the end of the video, right? So the video is wrapping up, right? Whatever you're doing at the end, whether you're still talking or if you use an outro or anything like that, they're coming up. And this again, it's just got the one and the other, and this behind here is the actual video running. And here's another one. So here, this one used two different video cards so people could click through. So they can click here to watch this video. They click here to watch this film. They can click here to subscribe. The little information one would give them, amazingly enough, a little more information. So that is one way to do it, is just to go ahead and overlay them at the end of whatever your video is. Nothing special, just however the video ends, that's where these things are going to show up. The other way to do it is to actually create an end screen. And that is a screen that's it's a graphic that's specifically designed to end your videos, right? Be a consistent end to all of your videos and have predefined places to put all of these little elements. So this one's using 3 different videos, right? And the subscribe. And it's got this graphic behind it, which is a part of their branding. And it gives people a little bit more information. There's also a little promotion going on here. Show you another one. So this one gives the URL, gives a suggestion on the next video to watch, and gives a way to subscribe, and definitely highlights the subscribe. And here's one more, right? So 2 videos to go check out. And then all the different ways to follow and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. So that, in a nutshell, is what we're talking about. The reason that you're going to care about this is because it's wonderful when somebody finds your content, right? It's great when somebody finds your content, is interested enough to watch it, right? And maybe they even, interact with it, right? They're interacting during the comments, or, maybe they're, giving you that thumbs up, the subscribe, the like, depending on, how you're set up. But that's, that's a starting point, right? You want that to be the beginning of the relationship. You want this person to become a member of your tribe, a member of your audience. And the best way to do that is once they've found you, okay, which is the big hurdle, and then watched some of your content and decided that, hey, either, you're entertaining or you're informative or whatever it is, whatever your goal and their goal was being met. Well, then you want them to stick around, right? You want them to check out more content, assuming you have more than one video. and you want them to start to really dive in and get into more stuff. So that is what you use these end cards or screens for. You're saying to them, hey, if you like this content, here's something else that you might like that we did. Another way to do it, so that works well if you're just going to do one, right? You kind of keep it on topic and you offer them, a deeper dive or parallel content. Another way to do it, if you have the two, is to say, well, here's something in parallel and here's something else that maybe you'd be interested in, right? To help them broaden their horizons a little bit more. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for cruising by. Hey, I'm getting my setup working. This is so exciting. Jason, hello. Good to see you too. Hi. I'm still working out the kinks here, where it's a new setup, it's a new world around here. And so I am making progress, but it is progress one way or another. We're getting there. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. So that is the purposes for you. Now, you want to look at this from multiple levels, right? So let's start with YouTube, right? Because YouTube is the one that we're talking about tonight. So if you are a YouTube person, right, you're either posting, recorded videos, you're doing your lives, you're doing some combination thereof. YouTube's goal, right, is to get people to stay on YouTube. And the more people who watch your content, that's achieving their goal. So then it's kind of increasing the odds that they might bump you up a little bit. Okay, so that's one level. Then you're putting in all this effort, right? You're putting all this effort into your material. You want people to come and see it. You want it to be helpful or informative or entertaining or whatever your goal is. So that is your goal. You also have to keep in mind the goal of the person who has come to watch your video, right? Whether it's a live or it's a recorded video, you want to make sure that their goals are being met, right? Their needs are being met. Whatever it is that you have promised them, you are fulfilling. Okay, when all three of those line up together, that's a successful video. Okay, and that means that you're winning, your audience is winning, and YouTube is winning. Our favorite win-win-win scenario. They don't happen enough, but they do happen. And that is what we're going for here. And what you're offering in how you structure your end screen and your end cards is a guided tour, right? You're making suggestions to, you're like, hey, if this was good for you, then maybe this is going to be good for you too. So you want to make sure that you are keeping it on topic or parallel in a logical way. Sorry, why are you snorting at me? Okay, that's Mr. Murphy down there. He wouldn't be on camera right now. I set him up with his own shot. Here, I'll even show you his own shot, right? He's got his own shot. He's got his own card, but he's not going over there. He will as soon as I finish the video. That's where he likes to hang out. That's why I set him up there. However, he's Mr. Murphy, and he's going to do as he pleases. So he's snorting at me because he wants more treats. He's not getting any more treats right now. Okay, so this is why you want to care about YouTube end cards. This is why they work. This is how they work, right? If nothing else, they are important to you and your audience because it's a way to keep your audience engaged, and you want to let them know about the rest of the content that you provide, because maybe they've only found you because of one video. So the point of all of those things that I've just showed you, let me bring them up again. So like for this one, like for Conan, right? What he's trying to do here is say, okay, well, you liked that video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me in all the socials. And here's some more videos you might like, right? And then the idea is that because the video that they came to see is done, they could click on one of those two videos and continue watching. That is their goal, right? They're trying to keep you there. They're trying to provide more content. And by doing so, you're boosting your channel watch time, which means that YouTube is going to start to pay more attention to you. So it all works, right? There's nothing nasty or sleazy about this. This is just you're trying to help, you're suggesting other content, and then you are making sure that people can find what it is that they're looking for and make that as easy as possible. So let me switch this back. Hey, this is working. And I'm going to show you where you can do this, she says. Okay. Did I not move that over? I did not move that over. That's why it's not showing up. Okay. So I'm going to show you on my own little world here. Ta-da! Let's move that away. Okay, so where do you do this? You go into your channel, right? And then you're gonna go into the YouTube Studio. I don't know why. I get a brain block on that every single time. I don't know what it is about the name of it. But anyway, you're gonna go into the videos. Okay, and then you're going to pick one. I'm going to go into a live just because I haven't done this for this one. I figured, hey, two birds with one stone. I'll show you how to do this while I do it. So I'm going to pick the last video I did that I have not put the end card on yet. And so just so you know, after you've done your video, whether it's live or recorded, and you push it up, you can go in and you can update the title and the description and all that. But what we're talking about tonight is over here. It's the end screen. So you're going to click on that. Okay, and then it's going to bring up your smiling face. And what it's giving you here are a bunch of templates. Now you can manually create your own, and if you want to, you can go here and select the different things. Now there will be things that you may not have access to if you're not at a certain level on YouTube yet, like me. Working on it, we're gonna get there, but we're not there yet. So we can't do the links yet, but we can do some of the other things. But just make your life easy, especially if you're new to this. Pick one of the templates, because you know what? If YouTube is suggesting it, the odds are pretty good. So you can pick, one that's got the video on either side and subscribe in the middle. You can do two without the subscribe. You could do one and one in different positions, however you like to do it. I'm going to show you how I tend to do them. Your mileage may vary. So this is one video, one playlist, and one subscribe. And what it does is it brings you in here to the end of your video. It puts you in exactly the right position that you want to be at, right? It's the end of the video at the right time code. And now you can go ahead and play with these. So just so you know, like, you can move these around. If you don't like where they're at, you can move them. Now you'll see that this has got a white box. You don't have the entire frame of the video to work in. You're restricted to this area in the center here with a little bit of a margin all the way around. It's not a big deal, just something you need to be aware of. So let's start here. So by default, with their template, YouTube's like, okay, we'll just show a good video to your user. Don't worry about it. Don't do that. Because the odds are very high, unless you've got 1 billion subscribers, the odds are very good they're going to try to take them away. So what you're going to want to do is either show them your most recent upload, or you're going to want to pick a specific video. Now that's what I always do. I always pick a specific video that is close to the topic I just talked about in the video that I'm now adding the cards to, or runs in parallel to it. So for example, I've been doing a series on YouTube, so I'm going to stay with YouTube for this. But if this was more generic, then maybe I would go with like something like the explaining what the video thumbnails were about, or the hashtags or that type of thing. So that's what I mean by, like, you can do it in parallel or along the same topic. We're going to stick with this topic. And let's go with the 3 levels of privacy. Okay, so that is going to be one video that shows up here. This, when you add your logo to your YouTube profile, then it's going to carry this across. That's also where you're going to specify your URL. So that's what they're going to click on here. And when they do it in this YouTube world, it's going to be a subscribe, which I'll show you in a second. Then this one you can click on. Now you see there's nothing in this. Right now it's blank. So if I didn't do anything with it, it would be blank. It would look a little weird. So you're going to come over here again, and you're going to select a playlist. Now playlists we haven't really talked about, but it's a way for you to take like content and organize it for people so that they can just watch one after another. So because I am on this trend right now of tips for small business owners, I'm going to add that one in. That's got 37 videos in it already. Yay me. I'm very proud of that. That took a long time to get there. So now at the end of the video, people are going to have the option of watching the video that I've recommended, right, which is the YouTube privacy one. They can click here to subscribe if they haven't already, and they can also choose to go in and watch the playlist. Then what you can do is you can get a sense of what this is going to look like to people. So you can hit play. My voice was terrible there, see? So then they could click here. They could click here, right, to subscribe. Now, of course, I can't subscribe to myself. And this. And you see the video keeps running in the background. And that's the point I want to make here. So this is one way to do it. It doesn't require a whole lot of extra work on your part, right? You're just going into your existing video. It's going to put you in the right spot, and it's just going to play over the top. Now, the thing is, depending on the layout of your last video, it may be covering up things, and that may be why you want to rearrange this. So maybe you want to go here, right? Because if you noticed on mine, let me bring it's back there already, good.
I always love talking to you, and I hope we get to talk again soon.
This way it gives it a little bit more space here for the subscribe, but also at the end I have this animation here which I want people to see. So that's why I usually pull this and put it up here so they can see this and my logo is still centered. Your layout's going to be different. You're going to want to position things differently. But my point here is that you can move these within reason to different places to fit your video better. And as you work on your YouTube channel, as you get into a flow with your content, you're going to start to think about that this type of positioning automatically when you're doing your video, right? So you may be, doing different camera angles or whatever. When you get to the end, or if you're using an outro, you're going to want to think about, okay, well, where am I going to leave the blank spaces so that I can do the end cards on YouTube? And it'll be a part of the thing. Or you may decide that you want to go the other way like we did before, and you may want to actually create a graphic card that you put behind your videos to do those kinds of overlays that way, right? So these are ones that are just over the video as the video is playing out. These three here. And then these three are graphic cards that they repeatedly use in all of their shows, right? This is the last thing everybody sees, and it has the X number of elements on it, or URLs, or whatever you want. You people know who these folks are, to do it. So there's no right or wrong on that. It's just whatever's going to work for you. Now, if you're going to do, I'm just showing you right now the real simple one, which is just put it at the end of your video. And if you are doing, if you're doing a pre-recorded video, you could go and put that end graphic in before you upload your video. That's easy enough. And then you would come in here and position these. If you're doing lives and you want to do that, you can do that. We're not going to get into it tonight. That would be a whole nother show. But you could go into the YouTube video editor and then upload that graphic for the positioning like we're talking about here. Does that make sense? If I'm going too fast, let me know. All that kind of good stuff. But I just kind of wanted to give you a sense of the fact that it's very easy to do this. And once you've got it the way you want it, you say save, and it's there. Now, if you change your mind, right, or if you want to go back to old content and maybe freshen it up, you can always come back in here and change things, right? So if I decided, like, maybe the YouTube privacy thing, kind of ran its run here, and I now want to change it to something else, you can come back in and edit this, right? If I decide, no, I do want to show them the video thumbnails, you can do that. You can also add other elements, right? So you could add another video. Okay, so I just put another one here. So I could cover my face up with another video. So you have a lot of control here. And if you change your mind, you don't like it, you can just come here and say, nope, don't want that. Just hit that little trash can and it goes away. But, you could, if you wanted to do that, you could do that. Probably don't want to do that. I don't want to cover up the doggy, so I'm going to usually put it over here. Just always make sure that you hit the save so that it actually saves it out. And then the next time somebody watches that video, that's what's going to be there. Make sense? It's really not hard. It does not take a lot of time. It is actually something that you can even outsource to people. So like I have a couple of clients that once a month send me a spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, they say, this video, add these cards, this video, add these cards. Sometimes it's, videos that don't have anything yet that we're adding it to, and sometimes it's videos that they're changing it up to. So if you have the financial bandwidth, you can hire somebody to do this for you. You're probably going to want to do the legwork of deciding where you want to put stuff. You probably don't want people making that for you. Maybe do. I don't know. Maybe you've got somebody you really trust, in which case, go for it. But the point is, it's not super hard. You can train somebody to do it, right? I mean, you could hire somebody to do it. You could pay your kid, make it part of their allowance, whatever. Because once they know the pattern, it's not a big deal to do it, and they can't really do a lot of damage, right? I mean, the worst they could do is, put the wrong video on there. It's not the end of the world. You can go change it. Yeah, it really is. It really is easy to make an end card. And like I said, it doesn't take a ton of time. It's the kind of thing, you don't even have to do it like right away. If you want to wait a little bit and do them, in batch, once a week, go through and do them all, that's fine too. You can also set up templates, which again, that's a whole nother show to get into, but you can actually set up predefined templates that would automatically be there, and then you can go in and change them later. So there's a lot of flexibility with this kind of thing, but not doing it is doing you and your audience a disservice. And it's also working against you as far as YouTube goes. So you do want to make the effort to do this, pick some videos. If you want, I'm more than happy to do a whole show just doing the templates and the editing from that standpoint. Just let me know. Perfectly happy to do that. But it's a fairly simple thing to do that actually can be kind of fun when you're doing it. To be honest, because you start to put them together and you start to make connections. And I find it also in my brain when I'm trying to figure out my content, it kind of helps me think about the next step. So it's like, okay, well, last week we did this the week we did that. What would be a nice progression, as far as like show cards? And it's like, oh, well, okay, we could do this topic, and then these three would tie together, and we'd have a little set. You can make a playlist out of them. There's a lot of different ways to repurpose your content, and it's important to do that because not everybody is going to find your content the same way, right? So a lot of people are going to find it, through a YouTube search or a Google search. That's great. But you're also out there doing promotion, right? You're on social media, you've got your blog, you probably have an email list, maybe you're doing a newsletter. So that's another way for people to find it. People may find it because your video was recommended from somebody else's video, which is great, right? Because they're coming in, but then they don't know anything about you, right? That was not a purposeful search. That was them hanging out, killing some time on YouTube. You want to make that pay off for them and for you. This is a great way to do it. Hey, you landed here, you watched this video, maybe you want to watch this video too. Or, hey, you really like this, here's a playlist that you can go through on, this topic, and it just one after another, and makes it real easy for them, especially in these days when everybody's home looking for content. So you do want to give it a little thought, but don't stress over it. Don't overanalyze it. Try some things, put it out there. We're talking, right, YouTube is Google. Google is analytics. So try some things. Then you can go back, in a month or two, look at the analytics, see what worked, what didn't, what people reacted to, and then change it up as you need to. So when you are designing these things, let me just... A lot of people get hung up on the whole, I'm not a graphic designer, I don't know how to do this. So let me give you a little tip, okay? You don't have to be a graphic designer. If you do want those special looks, there are different services, places you can go to where you can download different layouts or get ideas for different layouts if you do want to try it. So like you could go to something like Canva, or if you have Affinity Photo or what's the name of it? Okay, Ace, what's the name of the Affinity product? Not Photo, the other one. Or if you use the Adobe products, Illustrator, Photo, whatever, you can create your own. But there are, and I'm not an affiliate of these people. I've never used them. I just pulled them up because they had a nice list here. But there's all kinds of places where you can go and, pay for and download, templates like this if you want to use a template, but you don't have to. That's the point I wanted to make very clear here, is you don't have to have one of these graphic backgrounds. If you want to, there's lots of ways to get them. You can go to Fiverr, you can do this, you can create your own. But the important thing is to just have them there. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just putting them on the end of my videos. And it kind of works with my outro because the way that I position things, it kind of fits nicely. At some point, I'll probably do one of these cards. I just haven't quite figured out how I want it to look yet. So don't stress about it. If you want one of these, you think this is very important for your look, but you don't have time, go to Fiverr. Go to a place like this. You can pick one out. Or just do like I was showing you with these other folks. Where are these? And just do like I'm doing right now and just put it at the end of your video. Just let it overlay the final few seconds of your video. That's totally fine. That's this super easy way to do it, and it doesn't cost you anything because YouTube has given you everything that you need. When you are creating the ones with the cards, you want to make sure that, and even if you're doing it just over the video like this, you want it to stay clean, professional, right? You want it to be a repeatable thing. Not you can't, of course you can change it around, you can test different ways, but then at some point you kind of want to settle in on one for a while and use it for a few months so that people get used to seeing that pattern from you and they know which is the next video, which is the next playlist, that type of thing. You always want to include some kind of call to action, right? You want to do the subscribe thing. So everybody now is used to the fact that on YouTube, when you see the circle, that means subscribe. So you want them to be able to click on that to do that. And keep in mind the fact that you've only got, 10, 20, 25 seconds. The reason that number is not hard-coded is because while it is visible to your audience in that last 25, 30 seconds, they tend to not process that until about halfway through because they're still watching your video. They're still thinking about the information or the content that you just presented to them. So even though those elements now are going to be right in front of them, they're looking through them because they're still watching whatever was going on in the background. And then the brain's going to go, but hey, what are these things, right? And it will then pull them back to see those, which is what you want to happen, right? You want them to keep watching the video, especially if you're laying these elements over the end of your video, but then you want them to see it and have enough time to process it and then make the decision to click on something. So that may not seem logical to you when you're laying it out in this, a tool that they've given us. Did I already shut it down? I have a bad habit of doing that. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Oh, no, here it is. Okay. So when you go in here and you're doing this and you're like, well, it's right there. They're going to see it. When you watch people do this, I do a lot of usability testing. And so it's fun to watch because your expectations, because when you've worked on it this way, right, and you're very cognizant of the fact that you are laying this over the end of your video, that is not how your audience is processing that information. It's a completely different path. So it's just fun, but it's good to just keep in mind that, yeah, it's okay that it's there for those last few seconds. It's okay that I'm still talking at the end of it and that my outro is going to run, because that's them transitioning out of paying attention to my content, starting to think about what they want to do next. And hey, look, I've got options right in front of me. Sound good? All right, everybody. Well, that is what I have for you tonight. As always, we are still in the midst of a reworking here, so I'm getting much closer, right? You see, I've got all of my nifty little things are starting to show up, right? I've got my mailing list coming up. You saw the comments come up. So we're getting there, but I'm still working on the glare from the glasses and all that kind of thing. But if you have any suggestions for the studios, it's starting to come together. I mean, I'm going to do a lot of stuff in the background here. I haven't even touched that yet because I got to get the computers set up again. But I'm very happy. I have my X keys again. I'm so excited. X keys make me happy. What can I tell you? All right, so feel free to reach out if you want to join the mailing list, if you want to know what's coming down the pike. I don't sell anything in it. There's no advertising. There's none of that going on. Nobody is going to get your email address from me. This is just a way for me to contact you. So it's yourtechcoach.net/mailing list. And you can always go to yourtechcoach.net if you want to ask a question, if you have an idea for a show. There's a contact form there. Just go ahead and let me know what you're thinking, because that's where all the good shows come from. All right, everybody, get out there, go, do your end cards. Don't be shy. Give people ideas of other content to go and watch. Go, move around your cards, update your cards, do all the things, just not all at once. And have a good time with it. Think about different ways that you can capture their imagination, capture their attention, and then go back and check your analytics and see how it worked out, and then adjust as you need it. This is an ongoing process. You will never be done, and that's a good thing because it would be boring if we were done. All right, everybody, have a good night. We will talk again soon. I'm here every week, 8 p.m. on Thursdays. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Time with a different topic. I hope you will come back and play. Till then, have a great weekend, and try to go out and have some fun. Bye. All right, let's see if I set this one up right.